You see him, his eyes are burned out. Probably hideous scars left where his eye sockets had been. His whole back was bent. His feet were bleeding and sore from going around that grinding table. Probably there was marks of the lash across his shoulders. This slave, Samson, walks out there in front of those Philistine lords. And they start praising their God, saying the Lord has delivered him into our hand. We got the best of him now. He can't do anything anymore. Samson puts his right hand on one pillar, his other on the other one. Tells the other boy, you take me, you lead me to those pillars. He bows himself. He puts those hands up there and he says, oh God, avenge me of my adversary. And I'm telling you, something began to stir deep in Samson, out in the spirit world where the Lord the Philistines couldn't see. And then chaos begins to go into motion, and the power of God surges into that weakened corpse of a man as he bows himself, and those pillars begin to tremble, and the stone begins to crack, and already too late, they realize we bargained with the wrong guy, and then he's got back in touch with God. The power of the Lord is back again. Amen. Listen, I'm going to preach to you tonight. Amen. Get out of where you're at. Get your hand on the pillars. Amen. And God's able. Thanks God to turn it around for you. Amen. Thank God. Slaved, enslaved. No way to get out. I'm getting here, being done. I didn't get to be thinking about a song. This man bows himself. You know, if we left it in Judges 16 and 19, we leave it there in the verse where it said in verse 20, Spirit, the Lord departed from him. If we left the life of Samson there, it'd be such a tragic tale. That's not the end of it. To find the end of Samson, you'll have to go to Hebrews 11. Amen. Praise God. Hallelujah. You'll have to go all the way to the New Testament. Hebrews 11, with men like Abraham, men like Moses, men like Joshua. You find the writer under the inspiration of the Holy Ghost that says, what shall I more say? For time would fail me to tell. And he begins to list men. And brother, I'm telling you, in that list, he said Samson. Amen. The man who had been broken, the man who had been in prison, and the man that had a restoration. Amen. And God used him again. Amen. You hadn't shouted for the last time. You hadn't worshiped for the last time. You hadn't been anointed for the last time. Amen. You may be in the prison tonight, but you are meant to stay there. Amen. God's a prison shaker. Amen. A chain breaker. He's you again with the power of the Holy Ghost. Amen. The devil's got you down there. He's had you there, and you've been making sport, and he's whispered in your ear, look what I've done, look at this, look at that, look how bad it is. You're never going to shout again. Yeah, that preacher's there in revival, but you won't shout during this meeting. You won't ever slay out on the floor talking in tongues again. You'll never be behind the Bible desk with the anointing surging through your body again. You'll never sing under the inspiration of the Holy Ghost again. You'll never pray in tongues again. I've got you in the prison house. You're my slave. I own you. How he talks. I own you. Mine. Praise God. J. Humes wrote a book about Abraham Lincoln. He said Lincoln, to every Negro in the South, became the embodiment of the Declaration of Independence, the Statue of Liberty in the flesh. He said on those old cotton plantations in the South were men who were enslaved. And he said Abraham Lincoln became to them the Statue of Liberty in the flesh. Y'all listen to me tonight. Amen. I'm from the South too. Don't you blow up on me. Praise God. Hallelujah. The Civil War, one man that was in church service here not too long ago, a man jumped up and he said, the Civil War ain't over yet. He's a preacher. He said it wasn't the Civil War. He said it was Mr. Lincoln's war. And man, I'm telling you, the time that guy was done, he was letting up the rebel yell. He's fixing to open the whole dude back up again. I don't want to dredge it all up. But listen to me. Every one of those old black slaves with their back a maze of crisscrosses where the lash had bitten them. Those wicked men that said, I own you, a human soul. God frowns on that.
God help him, Lord.
January the 1st, 1863, the Emancipation Proclamation was issued by President Abraham Lincoln that said all persons held as slaves are and from henceforward shall forever be free. Praise God. Amen. Some of those states, Georgia, some of those states didn't like that. There's people still today that don't like it. But you know what it done? It didn't stop the proclamation that went out.
No.
Freedom came.
Yes.
Lincoln had been assassinated by Booth. His body lay in state in Springfield, Illinois on the railroad depot. And an old Negro mammy recently freed from a plantation in the deep South made her way north and happened in Springfield with a 2-year-old child, a young lad that was not her own, a little pickaninny that the master said he would feed to the hogs if nobody took him. Nobody wants him anymore. And so that old mammy took him. And as she stood on the depot that day, with crowds of hundreds looking at the body of the president, Brother Steve, she set that little boy in her old withered palms. And she held him up over her head. And she said, take a long look yonder, child. That man laying there died for you. I want you to listen to me tonight. With every ounce of strength in my body, I'm trying to put you in my hands and lift you up. Tell you that somebody died for you to go free. You don't have to stay in that place you're in tonight. Whether it's the prison of sin, prison of discouragement, despondency, affliction, it don't matter. Take a long look, dear child. That man died for you. Praise God. I'm fixing to be done. Paul and Silas are in prison, but the Holy Ghost shakes it, and everybody gets loose. Tell you what, if some of y'all would come out of here tonight shouting, everybody would get loose. There's some of you here in this building, if you got loose tonight, everybody in the building will get loose with you. Hallelujah. Praise God. Brother Hamish Crawford said he had a dream. The devil had him in a little prison cell, in a cold, dark prison down in the corners of hell. Said the devil leaning on the bars, laughing, telling him, Havis, I've got you now. You'll never preach and get them out of my clutches again. You're over. Your ministry's done. Brother Havis said, I was in there praying, God, help me. God, help me. Help me. He said the devil would laugh and tell him, look, you're all alone, Havis. God ain't going to help you this time. You're all by yourself this time. But he said down the hall of that prison, I heard a footstep. He said, I seen that old devil bristle up. He said, Brother Havis said, I felt something. And I looked at him and I said, is that him? He said, that devil said, you hush your mouth, Havis. I got you where I want you. And he said, I could hear footsteps coming down the hall. He said, the closer those footsteps got to my cell, the more nervous that devil become. And he said, in a few moments, I heard a voice in that hallway that said, be lifted up, you everlasting gates, and be lifted up, you everlasting door, and the King of glory will come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord, strong and mighty in battle. And Brother Havis said that old jail cell began to shake. He said, a little while, the devil said, I'll try you again later. But he said, I have no more power here today. And he said, a figure in a white robe with a shining face slid the door open. And Brother Havis said, the anointing of the Holy Ghost got on him. Amen. I'm hearing footsteps tonight. I heard him this afternoon as I was praying. Amen. I believe he's in your corridor. I believe he's in your cell block. Amen. He's kind of set you free.
Oh, hallelujah.
let's stand. 1944. It's almost December. It's cold. Snow's already fallen in Germany. Outside the barbed wire, the slime of the Auschwitz prison camp, a train disembarked its cargo of captured Jews. A cargo of 50 young men in one little cattle car. Those 50 young men were all under the age of 18 years old. Their parents had already been taken out. The fog hung over Auschwitz, where the fires belched out smoke and flames as they incinerated the bodies of those people that they were killing. The gas chambers were working around the clock. Those young boys stood there. In a matter of seconds, everything they had in the world was stripped. They were shaven and deloused. Their clothes were burned, their belongings taken. They were sent to the shower to clean up. They knew what the shower was. Those 50 young men, freezing cold, standing outside in the slime and the muck of Auschwitz, behind those rows of concertina wire, headed for the cold stone building where the gas chamber to the shower, where that gas would pour out of those nozzles and suffocate them, and then they'd be hauled out on carts and put in the incinerators and burned. They locked them in the gas chamber. Camp commandant gave the command, gas them. We can't use them in the slave labor. They're too young. Kill them. One of those young men inside there, before the gas started flowing, a little boy of about 12, remembered the words of the rabbi. And he said, this day is he couldn't remember the name of it, his national holiday. Finally, he said, this is the Simchat Torah, a Jewish holiday where God's people dance before the Lord for his excellent greatness. And they told him, they said, we have no prayer shawl. We have no rabbi. How can we dance? He said, because today we leave a world of imprisonment, a world of hate, and a world of slavery. And we go to meet God in a better land. He said, I'm going to shout one more time with a voice of triumph and dance before the Lord. Those young men who had lost everything they had, their parents had been killed, their families had been tortured and gassed. Those young boys began to stamp those bare feet on that cold stone floor. They began to dance. And as they were dancing, they were saying, how great is our heritage. The lines has fallen unto me in pleasant places. I have a goodly heritage. And we are the people that dance before the Lord. One of those young men told the other, he said, we have no rabbi to dance with us. And he said, then we'll dance with God as we go to meet him. Brother Steve, those young men began to dance. The camp commandant run down there and he listened. He said, I had heard silent cursing. I'd heard prayers. I'd heard begging. But I had never heard rejoicing from the gas chamber. He flung the door open. Said, what are you doing in here? Said those little boys looked at him and they said, we are the people who dance before the Lord. They said, not only do we dance before him, but we dance with him. They began to dance again, telling the Lord is our God. He told them, he said, I'll fillet you 1 inch of skin at a time, one person at a time, till all 50 of you have been filleted to death alive. He hauled them out of there and put them in a prison cell. But another train rolled in with a high-ranking Nazi officer. He said, I need 50 young men to take to a camp to do some work. He walked by and saw them, and he pulled rank on that old camp commandant. He said, I'll take those 50, and those boys went with that man. And in a matter of days, that area fell. And those 50 boys all lived to escape the prison camp of Auschwitz. Every one of them lived to have families. In the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., I met some men who survived those prison camps. I heard their story. I talked to those old men as they told about being there. I'm going to tell you something tonight. The prison's a cold place. It's a lonely place. What you need to do right here in this service is you need to remind yourself, we are the people that dance before the Lord. You say, I just don't feel very much. I guarantee you got more reason to shout than those boys did in that gas chamber that night. You say, I've lost so much. I'm in prison. You don't understand. Seems like such a long way from where I'm at, back to the top. You got a reason to dance before the Lord. I'm asking you to reach down inside yourself with all the courage you can muster. Say, God, lead me to the pillars. I'm going to shout again. I'm going to dance again. I'm going to rejoice again. I'm not finished yet. This ain't the end of me. Hey, God, I tell you, I feel the Holy Ghost. Hallelujah. The camp meeting at Export at the Bible School this summer, we were preaching the days, and Brother Jerry Matley was preaching the nights. As he was preaching one night, a message in tongues went out, interpretation. I can't remember every word in the interpretation. It said something like this: Behold, I am the Lord, your God. I declare the end from the beginning. I am the author and the finisher. The adversary that you face has no right to pen your last chapter, nor to pencil in the margin of your book. I alone will write your chapter. I alone will finish your book, because I am the Lord thy God. And it shall be even as I have spoken. I want you to listen tonight. The devil don't have a right to write your last chapter. The prison is not your final destination. Your feet weren't made to go around the grindstone. Your feet were made to walk on the mountains with God. Your hands were not made to work for the devil. Your hands were made to worship the Lord. Your voice wasn't made to pine and cry in loneliness in the prison. Your voice was made to proclaim the goodness of God from the rising of the sun to the going down of the same. The snare is broken. The gates of the prison's open. They handed Jesus a scroll. Read to us. One Sunday in the temple, he could have read anything. He could have read Zephaniah, he could have read Haggai, could have read Malachi, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. All of a sudden, Brother Steve, he fell across that scroll. And he said, the Spirit of the Lord is upon me. The old priest, I never heard nobody say me like Jesus said me that day. He said, the Spirit of the Lord's on me. He's anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek, the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to set at liberty the captive, proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord. Be to God. I believe the Lord has sent His power into this service tonight. I believe the snare is broken. I believe your prison's shaking right now. You can get out of there. Hallelujah. Your enemies wasted you. Your heart is broken. Your back has borne the smiting blows of your adversary as he toyed with you. Your victory gone. Your power taken. I say unto you this night, if you'll come unto me, you'll accept my gift of liberty. I'll restore you. I'll give you revival in your soul, revival in your home, revival in your life. You were not made to die in the prison. Come out, saith the Lord. For I am the way and the truth and the life. The way is open. Come now unto me, saith the Lord. Praise God. Oh. This altar's open tonight. Praise God. I believe you can be free. Praise God. Hallelujah. going to have to bury your head and beg. Praise God. God's opened the door. You can get out. Your back ain't the devil's whipping post. Hallelujah.